New Jersey. What's up, Stuart?
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
What's happening?
I just turned 28. I'm one of these kids who grew up listening in the back of my dad's car, so thanks for all the memories.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to miss you when you're done. Anyways, with Mickey Callaway, first of all, I'm not really thrilled with this loving the player stuff, but we do have a pitching strength. I'm guessing that's why he was brought in, but isn't it surprising the way the game is going, how the starting pitcher isn't going to be as important? And you just want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, the interesting thing is pitching coaches don't have great histories as managers. We all know that. That's not catchers do. Pitching coaches coming to managers has not been a lot of guys have had a lot of struggles as pitching coaches to managers. That has not been a great one. It really has not. It really hasn't. Will in Bohemia, what's up, Will?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's happening?
No, I was just wondering, you think maybe we could trade McCowan over to Green Bay for like a 5th-round pick?
No, they don't want McCowan. They don't want McCowan.
Well, they need a quarterback.
No, they don't think they do. If you listen to the guy, he listens to the head coach, he thinks he has a quarterback. He said, I groomed this guy for 3 years to do this job, and although he's not Aaron Rodgers, I mean, who is? But he said, I groomed the guy for 3 years. He understands the system. He understands what we do, and he'll be okay. So they are not shopping. They are not shopping for a quarterback. They're not shopping for one. So everybody wants to send them everybody from Tony Romo to Eli to every other quarterback in the league. They're not shopping for a quarterback. Now, last week that quarterback passed for 87 yards. They're not trying to throw the ball very much either. I mean, that's high compared to the Bears, who basically attempted 7 passes in the game. Sean in Piscataway, what's up, Sean?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How are you?
What's happening?
Mike, I'm watching the pregame last night. I'm Monday Night Football. My wife comes in the bedroom. I got tears in my eyes. She's like, "What are you watching?" Mike, that Carson Wentz story. I mean, I don't care who you are.
Unbelievable.
Mike, if you didn't tear up at that, you need to go to a doctor.
If you didn't tear up watching that thing, you don't have a heart. That's all there is to it. That story about the Dutch destroyer, that little 10-year-old boy, was unbelievable. All right, we have some Reese stuff here. Let's listen. What do we have? Chunks, or what do we got? All right, let's listen. Go ahead.
I'll start. Guys, we're 1-6. It's not where we want to be, obviously, but this is where we are. This roster, it's my roster. I'm responsible for everybody on the roster, and I'll take ownership to where we are right now with this 1-6 start. I do believe that we still have good players on this roster. I do believe that. I do believe we have to play better, though. We flashed, good play at different times. But in this league, it was almost like we came out the gate. There was a lot of chatter about, how good the team looked and how good it looked on paper, and, some talk about Super Bowls and things like that. But in this business, you can't, the 11 games we won last year, that's over with. You have to start over every time, and you have to earn wins, and you got to do it the right way. You have to, put in the preparation, and you can't walk out there and think people are going to just lay down for you because people are saying good things about you. So you have to earn wins in this league, and I think we bought into some of the hype of, this is a good-looking football team. But again, I do believe we have good players on the roster. I do believe that during this off time that we can make some adjustments, and we have 9 games left, and I feel like we have the coaching staff and the players with the pride to be a New York Giant in this organization, and nobody's going to lay down. We're going to come back after this break, and we're going to leave everything out there, and I'll open up for questions. Well, it's a lot of different things that, you can point to a lot of things, I guess, Bruce, where things have gone wrong. We just have to play better. We have to put players in better position than we have, and then the players, when we put them in position, they have to make plays. And so you can point to a lot of different things. There was a few close games where the defense could have closed some games out, some tight games. The last year we closed some games out. This time we let some games go that we could have closed out. And the offense could have closed a game or 2 out, late in the game when we've been ahead. So you have to do the little things. We've done, we beat ourselves, not taking for anything from anybody we played that beat us, but a lot of things are self-inflicted that happen to us, and we got to clean those things out. It's pro football. You got to do the little things right, and it starts with preparation. You got to prepare during the week. You don't win the game on Sunday. You win the game during the week when you practice. That's where you win the football games. You don't win on Sunday. So those type things, I think we have to. Again, I think we bought into the hype, and we just didn't go out and strain as hard as you have to strain to play in this league, and you have to do it every Sunday, day in. I mean Sunday, every Sunday you have to do it, and we just didn't come out with that fight that I saw from us last year, and I have seen it at times, but it hasn't been consistent enough for us to win games. And no, I think, our offensive line, we have some young players. I think they have improved. We've run the ball some a little better than we have in the past. But you got to be consistent doing it. You got to commit to running the ball some. I think our offensive line is comparable. Do we want to upgrade our offensive line? Of course we do. But is our offensive line comparable to a lot of teams around the National Football League? Absolutely it is. And but you have to, whatever you have to do, the manufacturer wins. You have to do it, and we felt like we had some young players in our offensive line and a group that had a lot of snaps together. They flashed some good play at times, but obviously, if you're not winning, a lot of things get pointed at, and people like to point at the offensive line, and it's totally not all on the offensive line. It's we win as a team, we lose as a team. It's a whole team effort that's caused us to be where we are right now. Well, we wanted the starting five. We felt like had a lot of snaps together, Jordan, and we felt like those guys. When you have some continuity in your offensive line, that's a help. We brought Fluker in. We drafted a young kid. We felt like the offensive line, and there wasn't a lot of choices out there to go out and get. We looked at a lot of different situations, and there just wasn't a lot of offensive line help out there from our perspective. And if we had an opportunity to get somebody, but we looked at some different situations that didn't work out for us. Well, again, I think Eric has improved. First of all, I think he works hard. I think everybody has an opinion about where players should be played, and what their development is. All young players do have to develop. I do think he's developing. Is he going to be a long-term left tackle? We don't know that, but if you look at him compared to a lot of left tackles around the National Football League, there's a bunch of comparables around. But you put flowers on some of these guys' jersey, and you'd be like, wow, So I do think that he gets pointed out unfairly a little bit at times, but it's the National Football League. If you can't take criticism, you should quit. If you're a general manager of a football team, or if you're a player, or you're a quarterback, or you play any position, if you can't take criticism, you should quit. So Eric's a big boy, and there's been guys picked higher than him in the offensive line who have struggled. Different positions struggle at different times, and I do think he's working hard. I do think he's improving, and we'll continue to support him, and hopefully he'll continue to improve and be a good player for us.
Jerry, in the offensive line, you said that there weren't a lot of options. There were a slew of veterans that signed. I mean, the Lions, I think, kind of transformed the offensive line. Vikings too. Andrew Whitworth with the Rams, the guy was brought up. Guys in the draft. Why were those options not fitting what you thought?
Well, again, we want to be a younger football team, James, and everybody has an opinion about who was available, who wasn't. To us, it did make sense for us, and that's what we went with. We wanted to be a younger offensive line. Do you want to try to develop a 23-year-old guy, or do you want to bring in a 36-year-old guy? We chose to go with the young route. Yeah. Well, again, we want to be a younger football team. We looked at all different situations with all the offensive linemen available. We stayed with what we have.
Did you think this past offseason that your team was only a couple of key pieces, the ones you acquired away from being that Super Bowl contender that you started to look like?
Yeah, well, the team starts over every year. You know what happened in last year, the 11 wins, that goes away. You have to start over every year. You have to prepare the right way. You have to good players. Your coaches have to put them in good position, and the players have to make plays. So everything's different. The dynamics are different every year, every team. You never know what you're going to get. We felt good about our team going into the season, and again, the season's not over. We have 9 games to play, and we're gonna prepare, just as hard as we always do, and our players and our coaches are super proud people, and I still believe them.
Jerry, you said that you weren't sure yet whether Eric is your long-term left tackle. I know when you drafted him, you said that was your hope. You thought he could be a tenure left tackle in the league. Shouldn't you know by year 3, or is he still too young to have that full analysis?
Yeah, well, you would like to know. And again, if you Eric Flowers. Okay, everybody, it's like it's a common thing. Everybody want to beat up on Eric Flowers. Eric Flowers is not the reason we're 1-6. Okay, we do hope. He's still a young player. He's been a starter for us for 3 years. I still believe he will develop and get better. He's gotten better as the season has gone on so far. And but again, it's a common theme for people to take swipes at Eric. Eric's is not the only reason that we're 1-6. No, the team is. I'm the reason. I said it when I first came out here. Okay, this is the roster that I put together. Okay, I'm the reason we're 1-6. But we do have to play better as a team. So again, we lose together, we win together. I believe everybody is accountable here for what goes on. Our coaches are accountable. Our players are accountable. We're 1-6 together, but you can put it all on me. I'm sorry? Yeah, well, you're always on those. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and every single time I've been left for dead a lot of times. Since I've been doing this job, and that's just part of the business. It comes with the territory. You can't. It's a high performance business. I love for us to have won 10 Super Bowls in my tenure as the general manager of the Giants, but we haven't. I wish we could have. We've won some games, but I sure believe we could have done better than we have.
When you say something like we bought into the hype a little bit, I'm curious if that is something that's been acknowledged, from ownership and moving down, and if, whose feet does that fall on?
Well, yeah, Tyra, it falls on all of our feet. All of our feet. Again, it was a lot of chatter, a lot of good things were being said about the team. But again, when you have a young team, which we have, relatively young team, you have to protect against winning. And when you win 11 games, then you got a little bit of a swagger about. You come back and think, well, this is pretty easy. We won 11 games, and we won 11 games with a rookie head coach. So you come back and think, well, we're going to win. We already got 11 wins. That's just not how it works, So you have to protect against winning. I said all that to say you have to protect against winning. You have to start over. You have to put in the work. You got to play with some passion out there, and So that's what I'm trying to say. No, it's not on the head coach. It's on all of us. When I say, guys, we lose together and we win together, it's on all of us. It's every single body in this organization.
Where do you see Eli at this point in his career, and what kind of job do you think Ben has done this year?
Well, Eli, just like everybody else on the team, Eli needs to play better. Every position needs to play better. As far as Ben, Ben is, he won 11 games last year as a rookie. It's been a little bit tougher. You can't sneak up on anybody in this league. You have to, he has to do better in what his job is, and I think he will. And here's why I think that is because it's important to him. Number one, he's a hard worker and he's smart. He's smarter than all of us in this room. I can tell you that. It's not even close. All of us together, he's smarter than all of us. So it's important to him. It means something to him. He's not the guy that you can't talk to and give suggestions to. He's going to do whatever is best for this football team.
Jerry, the defense is confounding, going from the number 2 scoring defense a year ago to this. What did you see?
Well, I think I said this to somebody, during the preseason, some of the preseason interviews that I had, that, what does the defense have to do? I said the defense has to stay hungry. And I don't think we had that hunger, Kim, when we first came out, during the season, because we could have, we could have closed some games out defensively. So that the hunger from the defense, but the hunger from the entire team has to be there as well. But the defense in particular, I saw a hungrier defense last year than I've seen. I've seen it at times. I've seen it at times, but you have to be consistently, hungry every week and get the job done.
That's Jerry Reese. I don't think we're getting much out of this. He basically came out, took the hit, said it's on him, it's his roster, and then everybody has to play better. Okay. I mean, if he's going to defend guys who have played lousy like Flowers, what are you going to do? I mean, they can't replace him. They don't have the ability to replace him. He rolled the dice on this offensive line. He made a mistake. He did not bring in people who have played well enough. Injuries you can't do much with. When you have all your wide receivers wiped out in one game, it leaves you with nothing. I mean, the Giants had a strong wide receiver core. They had one of the top, most explosive players in the league in Beckham, who was never healthy all year. They brought in Marshall. They had Shepard, who last year caught 8 touchdown passes as a rookie. All of them go out in the same game, get wiped out. Ingram he's a talented kid. He's a good pass receiver. He'll catch plenty of balls this year. They haven't left Eli with a lot of weapons or any protection. And more than most quarterbacks, since we're talking about Eli, more than most quarterbacks, Eli needs protection. More than most, because he doesn't have any escapability. He has none. That's not his strength. He does not have that. You're going to find him, and you're going to find him all the time. He's going to be on the mark. He's not going to slide. And and if you want to get a mobile quarterback because you don't like that, well, go ahead. Eli is a classic drop-back pocket quarterback. He can make every throw in the books. He's durable. He's tough. He's not mobile. We all know that. That's not who he is. He's not going to move. And he's played behind an awful offensive line and no running game. And when you play behind no running game, you make it very hard to complete passes. And then when you have no wide receivers, it's impossible to complete. You have no running game and no passes and no pass receivers who can get open. I mean, you're playing with guys last week that after the game, you saw guys who were on the Giants, if you watch the Giants postgame, say these guys don't belong in the league. I mean, they were saying that, and they're usually not critical. They got guys playing last week who don't belong in the league. I mean, that's all there is to it. You can't play with those guys because you need playmakers in this league. You have to have playmakers. You can't win. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Tom Brady, if you're Aaron Rodgers, doesn't matter who you are, you got to have playmakers to throw the ball to. You have to. You have to have guys who can get open. And they don't have to be name guys. They just got to be guys who can get open. Look how many guys come out of nowhere that you see every year at wide receiver and running back you've never heard of come up and boom, all of a sudden they're playmakers because they got speed and they have an ability to make plays. That's what this league's about. It's about making plays. Giants just don't make any plays, and their defense has let them down this year. Their special teams, there were twice this year where their punter had to make punts. Neither time he made a punt. There were 3 times this year where the Giants had the lead in the fourth quarter, where the offense, which has been sporadic all year, gave them leads in the fourth quarter, and the defense gave up the leads. The defense, except in Denver, has not played a meaningful game all year. Not a meaningful game in any game this year except that. And the offense has had a couple of games where they got the offense going, but when you take Beckham, Marshall, and Shepard completely out of the roster, and they don't have a running game to begin with, they have a substandard offensive line, what are you left with? You're left with a veteran quarterback who we know can deliver the ball, but he's got to be given time to deliver it. He's not mobile. He's a pocket passer, and he's got to be given time to throw the football down the field. If he does that, they can make plays. We've seen it a million times. They can throw touchdown passes. They can't do it when they don't have anybody open, and they don't have the ability to protect the quarterback. And that's where they are in that issue. And right now the Giants are a very bad team, and they just don't have a lot of answers or a lot of weapons. And they got to get some people healthy. And Reese did a very bad job calculating this offensive line. The defense, You know, he didn't expect these guys to go down. He didn't expect Vernon to go down. He didn't expect Beckham to go down and Marshall to go down and Shepard to go down, and we go on and on. It's part of the sport. You know, the Colts didn't expect Luck to go down. They're not going to win a lot of games this year. They don't have Luck at quarterback. Without him, they're not going to win. That's all there is to it. I mean, but that's a team that's completely built and intensive about the quarterback. The Giants have never built a team just that way. They've always built a complementary defense, or at least tried to give him some weapons, or at least a defense that he can live with. So that's what you're looking for if you're trying to win games. That's what you're trying to do. I mean, to try and do it just with the quarterback is very difficult to do. No question about it. I mean, you got to have players in this league. I mean, and it's very easy to sink. Look at Atlanta. Atlanta has a world of talent. If you run down the names on that offense and look how badly they've played the last 3 weeks, it's unbelievable. They have all-stars on that offense. That offense is a who's who. And they're all still playing. All right, you know, Julio Jones was out for a couple of days. Sanu was out for 2 weeks. But for the most part, they've all been playing and they can't score. Last week, look at they got shut down by New England. New England hasn't shut anybody down all year. They shut the Falcons down. You know, the Falcons have been awful 3 weeks in a row as they come here this week. So it just shows you how quickly you can get off your game in this league. It really is. It's, you know, there's no question about that. But listen, it's a tricky situation for the Giants right now. They come off an 11-win team, and they thought, when we were at camp this year, they thought they were really good. They were as confident as I have seen them in a very long time. Were they cocky, maybe? Maybe a little? Were they, you know, were they relying too much on the defense? Maybe. Did they think they had answers on the offense? They rolled the dice on the offensive line. That's where this whole started. And then the Beckham injury was one that they never really overcame. But they started this year rolling the dice on the offensive line, and that takes away protection for the quarterback, who's immobile, and takes away the running game. And without that, you're just not going to win. You know, when the Eli won championships with the Giants, they had an offensive line that worked. You know, it might not have been the best in the league, but it was solid. It was solid. You got to have that. No one in football does it alone. I don't care if your name's Brady, Rodgers, Luck, you know, Manning, you know, Peyton Manning, whatever. You still got to have players around you. No one can do it by himself. Doesn't work that way. Chris in New York. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Just calling about the Giants again, and I think you hit the nail on the head, and I know you get tons of calls. You don't remember this, but I asked you the question about the Giants O-line going into the playoffs last year, and you hit the nail exactly on the head that no one's afraid of the Giants running game. They have no game. It's not the back. They need to draft offensive linemen. So they go 11-5. They go into the draft. As you stated, Reese ignores it, thought he could get away without it, and this is what we end up with.
Yep.
So
I mean, listen,
I don't know how
said,
it could be so obvious.
You know,
ignore it.
You know, listen, they're pros. They had an opinion. They were wrong. I thought they had to spend 3 of the premium 6 picks, meaning 2 of the top 3 picks, top 3 free agents, top 3 picks in the draft. Your premium 6 signings for the year. I thought 3 of them had to be on the offensive line. None of them were. I think that was a gross mistake. I think they're still making alibi. They're still alibiing for Flowers. Well, he's getting better. You know, his improvement, if there is any, it's very slow. And you see that offensive line springing leaks all over the place. You know, they blocked Denver that night. Really, they didn't block them that much. They really sprung a couple of runs, one for 49 yards for Dakwa. He sprung one. That was really it. But right now in this league, there's not that many teams playing well when you think about it. Philly's playing well. You know, look who goes atop the South right now. New Orleans. New Orleans opened 0-2, and everybody was burying them. They were getting rid of Peyton. They were trading Breeze off. Now they've won 4 games in a row. You know, and they've actually done it away from home, where they usually, you know, they've actually won games away from home this year. They're 3-1, which is unusual for them. They have a lot of home games still to play, so they have a chance now in that division. You know, I mean, and their offense maybe, they got rid of Peterson, which I never liked the signing of Peterson. I didn't think Peterson made any sense for them. Did you think with Breeze and the offense they've been running there for a million years, with all the weapons they have, they were going to turn around and give the ball to Peterson 30 times? They were not going to do that. It didn't make any sense. I was surprised Sean brought him in there, and he and Sean didn't get along. That's Drew Brees' team. We know that. I mean, it goes without question. We all know whose team that is. I mean, he's been there forever. It's, Sean and Drew are tied at the hip. We all know that. You're not going to run the ball there. They'll run it. They'll run that to set up the pass. They're not going to do vice versa. They're not going to pass to set up the run. This is not what it is. And Peterson went to Arizona and had a good game the first game. I don't know what he did the second game. First game he ran well. Second game they got shut out, so I don't know how well he ran the second game. But the 25, the first game he had a good game the first game, and that was fine. But he wasn't going to go there and dictate terms to Drew Brees. I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, he's been there forever. It's not, no one expects their offense to change their personality at this stage of their lives. It's not going to happen. And the point I'm making with Brees, folks, is this. Listen, just like Roethlisberger, I've made this point 100 times. Roethlisberger is a better day-to-day quarterback than Eli Manning. He's going to put up better stats. Same thing with Drew Brees. He's going to put up much better stats day-to-day. But if you're talking about the body of their career and their durability and franchise quarterbacks, to me, all three of them are franchise quarterbacks. You like Brees better? Fine. But my point is, if I had one game to win on the road in the playoffs, a tough, big game to win, and you're going to give me Roethlisberger, Brees, or Manning, I'm taking Eli. He's good in those big games. Is he as good day-to-day as Roethlisberger or Drew Brees? No. He's not going to put up as fancy stats as either one of them. But if you give him to me in the big game, he has always showed me tough spots, rough spots, good teams, big road wins, big tough spots. I like him in the big game, always have. And that's why I think that's his special quality. The bigger the game, the better he plays. And I thought last year in the Green Bay game, he showed up, and he played well. And if his offense had showed up with him, if his guys had caught the balls, they would have had a real chance in that game because he had a chance to build a big lead, and they should have had 2 touchdown passes that they dropped. Right in their hands, gorgeous passes in their hands, one by Beckham, one by Shepard. They both should have been caught, and they weren't. And that was a big problem in that game. He showed up. I thought he threw the ball better in that game than he did all year because I think he's always been a big game player, as he showed and as his record illustrates. Day to day, I understand you take Roethlisberger, take Brees, take a lot of quarterbacks, but in the big spot, he's always been a very good big game quarterback, and he's been amazingly durable. And to me, if you can get a franchise quarterback who's durable and good in a big game, that's what you're looking for. Back after this.